everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, November 19th, 2023. Halloween has come a little late this year, but I will take my soapy suspense for Thanksgiving instead, I guess. That's fine with me. I'll take the Thanksgiving thriller. All right. Oh, so many brilliant little moments of suspense this week. The spiked tea with the spiraling background behind Nikki's face, the locked bedroom doors and windows, the broken pencil in the lock as she was trying to pick the lock to get out, the soap on the hinges of the door. Yes, little sliver of soap to oil the door so that the hinges don't squeak as she tries to slip down the stairs, and sliding her shoes off so that she doesn't make any click-clacking noise when she's trying to get down the stairs. There was also that corded old telephone that she picked up, trying desperately to dial old school to get some help. And then the IV, the close-up of the IV as it was dripping down into her veins, and the dream that she had of Victor coming to rescue her and him saying that he was going to pull the IV out of her hand, and he goes, okay, well, this is going to hurt. And she kind of closes her eyes, and then we brace ourselves for the pain, and then what? It was only a dream. Later, actually pulling the IV out of her hand and getting that moment of, oh, ow, pain, seeing the blood on her hand. But I think the weirdest moment of suspense for sure was Nikki waking up from it all with the baby doll with the blood tear streaming down its face. What kind of sick psychological joke is that anyway? The doll. This is some kind of childhood theme there. Maybe the only thing that outdoes the doll is the IV drip with vodka. Vodka? Are you serious? Clearly someone has done their homework here. Bravo. I mean, did they make sure to get Nikki's favorite brand and everything? Wow. Just wow is all I can say. That's the best compliment I can give. Wow. And I have to give a major compliment to Haley Aaron, the actress who plays Claire, 'cause she's just been giving all of these sinister faces, and she's had some really clever line deliveries too that are very sinister, like time's up, sweet dreams, enjoy them while you can. I mean, she's really like evil but sort of sweet, and she's still keeping that, we thought she was sweet Claire, and she's still keeping those words, but there's this sinister undertone to her behavior, obviously. I just think that she has been absolutely fascinating to watch and to peel apart and to try to decode. She said she has been waiting her whole life for this. Her whole life. I am so grateful that Friday's cliffhanger actually gave us the glimpse of Aunt Jordan that we've been waiting for. Aunt Jordan, played by Colleen Zenk, and As the World Turns bona fide superstar. She played Barbara Ryan on As the World Turns from 1978 up until 2010 when As the World Turns ended. So she's going to be so well versed in daytime. She's a 3-time Emmy nominee, and I can't wait to see what she's going to bring to the show, what flavor she will bring to the show, because I'm really not at all familiar with As the World Turns. I don't think I ever watched a single episode of it, which is surprising to me because it was a CBS show, but I'm guessing it must have aired in the afternoon. I don't know. What time did As the World Turns air for you? I'm assuming most of you guys probably know exactly who she is, but I don't know. If it was late afternoon on CBS, I just must have moved on by then. So, like I said, I just don't know her at all. But honestly, I love it when Y&R casts veteran soap stars from other soaps, especially ones that I don't know, because then I get the benefit of having this amazing daytime veteran without having the emotional baggage of wanting to tie them to the previous character that they played on a different show. So it's the best of both worlds for me. Welcome to Y&R, Colleen Zank. And I'm thinking that she's going to be very good. I feel as though this is going to be at least a sort of long-term stint on the show, because I'm predicting that Aunt Jordan is a long-lost relative of Nikki's, and that this family reunion that Claire keeps talking about when she's saying, oh, when the family gets here, I think it's not about the Newman family coming to the lake house, but more that Claire and Aunt Jordan are Nikki's family, and Claire was just alluding to the fact that she was waiting for the mastermind to arrive. Claire called the Newmans a dysfunctional family. Well, happy Thanksgiving. It's about time somebody said it. Adam is like, sure, Pops, I'll go ahead and feast on your scraps forever. And Nick is over here dumb enough to go back to the whole train wreck instead of working with sexy Sharon, which makes no sense to me. And now Victoria is the one who is saying that she's left Newman forever and she's never coming back for a couple of weeks. Whatever. I don't believe it for a second. Go ahead and protest, Victoria. You'll be back at Newman Enterprises in 2 weeks. But if Victor really wanted to expedite Victoria's return, maybe he shouldn't have questioned her love life on 2 separate occasions this week. He really was throwing that in her face. And yes, she has terrible taste in men. We know that. But what really does that have to do with her ability to do her job? Okay, I'll give you Ashland Locke. I'll give you that one. But Nate is no Ashland Locke. And now Victoria seems like she's desperately trying to get Nate back. And I think that that's partly because Victoria doesn't want to be wrong. I think she's fighting to not be wrong here. And I think she also doesn't want to lose everything. I mean, I think Victoria feels very isolated right now. Even her own mother lied to her about Victor's charade. And now I think she doesn't want to go back to Newman to have to face her fate in a reduced capacity at the company. And she also doesn't want to work side by side with Adam because, yuck, work together with Adam? Unacceptable. I loved it when Adam said, you know, I could negotiate world peace, I could cure cancer, I could eliminate global warming, I could feed the poor, and you people would still be thinking, oh, that son of a bitch is up to something. Was that the line of the week or what? That was so good. What a great line. So true. Nate did make a good point, though. which is the second good point that he has made in 2 weeks, only this one didn't get him fired. Nate told Victoria, okay, well, if you're so worried about Adam, then go back to the company. Keep an eye on him. Because one of these days, Victor is going to grow tired and he is going to retire. And if Adam is the last man standing at the company, then Adam's going to be the one to inherit the chair. And we all know that both Victoria and Adam want that chair. I mean, I think it could be interesting seeing them battle over it, but yeah, it's just, are there no other options for either of them? That seems to be the only trajectory their lives are able to take. I just think the Newmans, as the years have gone on, have become such a bunch of wackos. Just a big group of wackos. And I just keep thinking that of all of Victor's offspring, Abby is the luckiest of them all because she has the least to do with him. Nate had a fun run-in with his former assistant this week, Adam. I actually really liked that scene. I liked Adam's smug self-satisfaction. I've actually really been liking all of Adam's responses lately. I don't know, the sparring between the siblings has been a lot of fun. And Nate was always going to be an outsider to that. He really shouldn't be surprised. I guess he just needs to have his own family to spar with. Nate had breakfast with Mamie this week, and he filled her in on his firing. And her reaction was like, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so, son. And at the end of the day, we all know that Miss M gets what she wants when it comes to putting Nate into a position again at Chancellor Winters. By the way, that's Miss M to you. When did Mamie become this big of a diva? I can assure you she was not. She was not this big of a diva in the past. They have just brought her back in this totally new light, and I happen to think that she is the best thing to happen to Y&R all year. This is the greatest thing to happen to the show. She adds flavor. Ugh. And putting Mamie and Jill on opposite sides of the battlefield is genius. This is just so good. And Jill is back this week in town, in person, and she has now learned that Tucker and Mamie are working together. Jill had to hold her tongue very tightly during Nate's groveling scene. Yeah, Nate totally toddled along behind his Aunt Mamie, kind of pulling on her apron strings is how I imagine it. She treats him just like a little child, and he just goes along with Aunt Mamie. And she's just like sort of pushing him out front, saying, go ahead, do you have anything to say, Nathan? And he proceeded to make his oh so humble case to Lily and Devon, explaining what happened at Victor's company and how he was wronged, and then asking to have a position at his family company, which his family does not own. Lily has no ownership in the company. She's simply Jill's CEO pick. But she seemed open to the idea of hiring Nate. Devon was wary, of course. Jill and Lily were like, well, maybe. And Devon was like, well, hold on, let's think about this for a second. But Devon's the only other owner, right? Because Devon owns the Winters portion of Chancellor Winters. So I'm assuming that he's half owner and then Jill's the other half owner. Jill was thinking, well, Nate is very handsome. I feel like Jill understands where I'm coming from in regards to Nate. She's like, yeah, he totally almost completely screwed me over and almost completely took my company over from me. But he is handsome, so... She gets me. Jill gets me. She said, well, we're going to need all the support we can get, because basically now she knows that Tucker and Mamie are working together and coming for her. And Jill confronted Tucker this week. She's going to have that conversation with Mamie maybe next week, but she confronted Tucker this week, and of course, Tucker admitted nothing. But she knows him. Seeing them together reminded me that I think Tucker was with Jill before he was with anyone else in Genoa City. I think Jill was his first in-town girlfriend, long before he ever hooked up with Ashley. So Jill and Tucker have had an intimate relationship. So let's not count Jill out on finding out exactly what it is that Tucker has been cooking up. And I guess also I don't understand exactly what Tucker's plan is. I'm a little lost on what Tucker is planning, because if Tucker and Mamie have enough shares to control anything, then wouldn't they have done something by now? It seems like Tucker does a whole lot of plotting and planning, but none of his plots and plans ever come to fruition of any kind. Where is the beef, Tucker? Where's the beef? You know I love me some Audra. But I was really turned off by her behavior toward Kyle this week. I mean, I guess I wanted to think that maybe Audra had some shreds of affection for him, but her complete lack of empathy for his change of heart was, well, simply cold turkey. It was just plain old cold turkey. Hey, it's almost Thanksgiving. I gotta work in some protein jokes here. Oh. Aw. Poor Kyle. Kyle came to Audra with his little boy pouty face on, saying that he didn't think he could betray his family after all. And her first response was to turn on the sex magic. It was so blatant and so obviously a manipulation. And when that didn't work, she just flipped the switch and started insulting him. She pretty much called him a daddy's boy and a wimp. I mean, she was pretty much saying he's a wimp for loving his family, and a betrayer for betraying her, a betrayer for choosing to not betray his family and betraying her instead. Okay. Well, I mean, Kyle is a wimp, Audra. You're not wrong. But girl, you catch more flies with honey. She just turned sour on him. Fast, too. So fast that it just made her look obvious. She said, well, I don't have time for your emotions. Get out of my office. And she opened the door and let him out, and then sent him an apology text later admitting that she had handled that conversation poorly. You think? You think? Yeah, I'd say that was poor. But it really completely tells us exactly what she thinks about him. And I think it's just going to make it all that much more easy when Kyle comes crawling back to her. She's going to think, oh, do you treat him like this? And then he'll just come crawling back. Only it won't be for real. It will be because of Diane's plan. Enter Diane. Now, I have to tell you, I think that this situation perfectly illustrates who Diane Jenkins is right now. Diane is not someone who tries to initiate a deceptive plan. Diane is someone who, oh so carefully, identifies opportunities and then justifies why she is doing the thing that gets her what she wants. It's subtle. It's oh so subtle. It's the difference between a Tucker McCall, who always has to have some kind of large, overarching strategic plan. The difference between a Tucker McCall and a Diane Jenkins. Creating the opportunity for deception versus finding a loophole that works to her advantage. Yes, that's exactly how Diane got Jack back. And that's exactly how Diane plans to get Kyle back to Chabot. That is how Diane Jenkins gets what Diane Jenkins wants. And it is a thing of beauty. Because Kyle was ready to just go confess to Jack, and Diane said, no, dear. No, my darling. No, my boy. That is not how we do things. We do not confess. We instead create a strategy. We build a strategy. We find a strategy that both suits us and covers up the bad thing we did. This is how you do it. And this is how Diane coached her son on how he might turn this situation to his advantage. And go undercover with Audra and Tucker and go from zero to hero in the eyes of the Abbott family. Oh, yeah, remember? Chance got shot. Yeah, right through the chest. Shoulder chest. But he's fine. He's last week he was in a coma or whatever, and we were all fine. I mean, he could be dying, but now he's fine. He walked right out of the hospital and through the coffee house doors. He went right from the hospital to the coffee house with nothing but a sling on his arm. I'm telling you, that Chancellor is made of some pretty tough stuff. And don't you just think that he would be perfectly suited for a career in big business? Maybe even under Jill's tutelage. Putting the Chancellor in Chancellor Winters. Yes. Okay. Okay. I see. I loved Nina nagging him to pick a different job and pulling in Abby for backup. That was so awkward, because do you remember how Nina really told Abby off for cheating on Chance, and then all of a sudden she was like, oh, Abby, honey, you tell me what your opinion is, because I respect you so much. It was more like, oh, I have a feeling you're going to support my opinion, so do tell. Oh, well, whatever. It was fine. It was nice to see Abby included in something. And I don't know what's going to happen, because in the previews, Jill's is basically offering him a job. But Chance did say this week that he feels he is not quite done being the chief of police yet. And Sharon seems to be supporting him. I loved the moment when everybody else kind of left and Chance and Sharon were just alone together, and they just looked at each other and said hi. Hi. It was very sexy. It was a very sexy hi. And Sharon seems to be supportive of him. I just feel like Sharon wants what he wants. And I wonder if Sharon realizes that what Chance wants is Summer. Do you think so? Do you think that Chance has romantic feelings for Summer, or is it completely one-sided? And if Chance does have feelings for Summer, does he realize it? Does he know it yet? Or is this just only something that, people from the outside can see? Well, except apparently Summer's feelings were so absolutely obvious that even Abby noticed them. I mean, Summer just lights up whenever she sees Chance, and I kind of think that Chance lights up when he sees her too. And I kind of think that Sharon knows it on both sides. I think she can see it in both ways. I think she is obviously can see it on Summer, but I think she sees it on Chance. So I think this is the beginning of the end for Chance and Sharon, because I just don't think Sharon is going to fight for him. I don't know why. I mean, I just feel like Sharon is going to see that Chance is conflicted, and so she is going to, like the wise psychologist that she is, she's just going to set him free. But then again, what fun would that be? I'll calm down when I feel like it, said Victor Newman last week. Victoria was like, just calm down and stop firing Nate, Dad. And Victor was like, I'll calm down when I feel like it. I don't know why, but it tickled me. Because it's such a, telling somebody to calm down, it's like it never works. It's the worst thing you can say to somebody who's up in a tizzy. And I just thought that Victor had the perfect reaction to that. I'll calm down when I feel like it. Congratulations, Henry, Pat, Marianne V, Michelle, Daisy, Dolores, wonderful, wonderful Wendy, Tanya, Naomi, and Brittany. You guys guessed it. Now, this week's line, I cannot believe it came out of anybody's mouth. Here it is. Carnal attraction only goes so far. Blech. Who dared to say the phrase carnal attraction? That is so disgusting. Carnal attraction only goes so far. Can you ever see yourself saying that, letting that phrase, try saying it right now, pause, and just say, carnal attraction. I mean, do you not feel like a total tool? I'll wait. Oh, Lord. But somebody said it. And if you think you know, you should go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Carnal attraction. Ugh, gross. I have to wash that out of my brain. I'll do so by wishing a happy birthday to Ambrini tomorrow. I hope you have a very wonderful birthday, Ambrini, filled with carnal attraction and cake. And speaking of carnal attraction, and on to my favorite topic, Nate. Naomi says, I'm loving Nate's unleashed personality. The opening scene between Adam and Nate was witty, and the actors were fantastic. P.S. Thank you, wardrobe department. Nate is quite a guy in his layered casual clothing. I loved that he had a t-shirt seen beneath his sweater. Naomi, can I also say, I think it was on, okay, so it was after the groveling sesh with Devon and Lily. He went back to the athletic club with Mamie, and they were standing in front of the revolving door, and Nate had on this like purple leather jacket. It was like a dark leather jacket with the zippers sort of had this purple coming through it, and so he had this purple leather jacket with a scarf on and the shirt underneath, and it was layered, and I just like I literally spaced out looking at this jacket and the zippers and imagining myself unzipping the jacket slowly. Very slowly unzipping the jacket. I mean, I didn't mean to be doing it. I was watching him and I was like, wow, that jacket is really beautiful. And then my mind fingers just dangled on over to the zipper and started slowly unzipping it. Thank you, Y&R, for putting Nate in layers. It just gives me something to do. Last week I asked you guys, do you think that Nate deserved to be fired by Victor? Well, 63% of you were correct in saying no, Nate did not deserve that. 38% of you are insane. Let's start with Ellen, who summarizes it nicely by saying, nah, Nate did nothing wrong. It would have been medically and professionally advisable for Victor to go to a clinic and get a confidential assessment done. Victoria had been in charge of Newman for years until recently. It wouldn't have rocked the business world even if the news had leaked. Victor's 80 years old. The business world already considers him an old coot whose best years are behind him because ageism is a reality. Only Victor hasn't accepted that truth. He should stop playing stupid games with his middle-aged children and pass the torch for real and for good. Divide up the company into 3 divisions according to each of the kiddos' strengths and give them each one to run. Let Abby have some power too if she wants it. Victor and Nikki can retire, throw fun charity events, have an advisory role, get kidnapped, whatever. What was my point? Oh yeah, Nate went to med school. His advice was sound, and the Newmans are all just paranoid and wanted to push Nate out anyway. I can't say anything better than that. They just wanted to push him out anyway. He's got a medical background. He gave medical advice that Victor asked for. But I actually really love this sound advice, Ellen, to divide up the company into 3 divisions. Yes, give each one to run, give each one a seat on the board, including Abby, and then there you go. Boom. Problem solved. Honestly, dramatically speaking, I think that's even better. It's kind of tiring just watching everybody fight for the one chair over and over. It doesn't become anyone. I think it would be smarter if he just gave them equal positions, different visions and divisions, and then let's just bring back a boardroom and let them vote out through how things happen. I think that would be better for the show, better for the characters, better for everyone. Hey, Tina Cole says, it does not seem strange to me that Nate, a former doctor/surgeon, would think that an actual medical facility makes more sense and appropriate for Victor to go to. If Victor needed surgery, I highly doubt they would set up an operating room in Newman Towers or at the ranch rather than go to an actual hospital because we can't show Victor's medical weakness to the media. It's just all too rational, Tina Cole. It's just all too rational. But I will say, Daisy makes some good points here by saying, being a doctor doesn't give Nate carte blanche into someone else's health issues, nor is he the person who knows what's best for them. Putting someone in a facility because they're older and having memory issues is inappropriate. And Nate, as a surgeon, not a geriatric specialist. Also, it would be up to Nikki to put Victor in a facility based on the recommendation from an actual geriatric specialist who knows about a senior person's medical issues. Nothing Victor portrayed, even faking memory loss, showed that he should be locked up. Had Nate suggested that Victor and Nikki go to a specialist for a recommendation, then I think he could have shown Victor that he had changed and was truly concerned for Victor's well-being. But Nate didn't do that. He opted to try to push Victor out of the way and reinstate his ticket to the CEO position, Victoria. Nate is still the person who tried to take away Mrs. Chancellor's company from his own family, and Victor saw right through him. I think Nate is more angry that he couldn't play Victor over losing his job, hence the rage. I like, that you made the point that Nate's still the same person that did that, tried to take over the Chancellor company, and that Victor's opinion of Nate, I think, was informed by that. I think it wasn't just the incident itself, it was also knowing what Nate's past history had been. But, Victor did also hire Nate knowing that information, and Victor did ask Nate's opinion. It's not like Nate snuck around and just did all of this on his own. Victor came to Nate, and he was appealing to him like, you know what, you're the only person I can trust with this. I don't feel I'm right, I need you to help, and I need you to keep it low-key. And so that's what Nate did! I don't know. I think you also said you would like to see Nate go back to being a doctor, Daisy. And yeah, he does have that. He certainly does have that bedside manner. But what about Nate and Victoria's relationship? Naomi says, well, Victoria and Nate didn't really have a love story. Their pillow talk was usually business related. And Victoria guards her heart and always chooses family/business first. Nate has unrealistic expectations of his partners and an inflated sense of what he brings to the relationship. He's being written as egotistical and entitled to anything he wants. If he doesn't get what he wants, it's because others fail to see how he deserves it. He doesn't talk about earning anything. He talks about receiving everything because he is, well, Nate Hastings, the smartest man in the room. I actually do like that because there is an air about him that he thinks he's the smartest man in the room. I think a lot of the men in this show think they're the smartest man in the room. Well, Victoria says Nate's feelings for Victoria must not be very deep. I can understand him being hurt that Victoria did not back him up, but she has every right to her opinion. When Victoria explained her thoughts to Nate, he let her know he felt betrayed. If they had a deep and caring relationship, he would have been more hopeful when asked for time. Nate's mind is on choosing the company, which gives him a better advantage. Long gone is the Nate who was emotionally connected to anyone. Oh, this is a great point. Nate is putting more interest and effort into where's he going to work now, where's the next place he's going to be able to work, than into how is he going to fix his relationship with Victoria. Yeah, I think the relationship was doomed, and it doesn't speak well. If Nate and Victoria's relationship were as important to Nate, then he would be wanting to fix things out. He would be hearing her side of it. He would be being as supportive of her now as he was when she had the power. Great comment. Well, Victoria had this moment when she was arguing with Victor this week where she said, well, what if I'm just going to get out of control? I'll just be wild and control Victoria. And Naomi says, please let Victoria spin out of control. I like the character more when she throws caution and her hair to the wind. I was thinking as she walked out on Victor, who will she bump into at the athletic club? She doesn't have many options unless she picked up a waiter or that guy sometimes working at Crimson Lights. The guy in the plaid apron. Victoria hooks up with the guy in the plaid apron in the background at Crimson Lights. That sounds good. Have you guys noticed, totally separate question, but have you guys noticed there are a lot of extras on the show now? We went through a period where there was just no one in the background, and now it's like extras, just full. Genoa City feels full again, and I want to say that I really have noticed that and appreciate it. And yeah, of course, I would love to see Victoria spin out of control. She wasn't always a good girl. She was once a centerfold. Calmness says, I really love the Adam and Victoria exchanges. Like when he said, it's a gift. And she just looked at him. I want to see them eventually become allies. But for now, it's great. Yeah, it is. The tete-a-tete is going toe-to-toe is somewhat entertaining on occasion. When it's funny, when it's a good zinger line, it works. Sharon W. says, I realized that if all the Adam is bad, hate Adam, punish Adam dialogue was removed, The Young and the Restless would only be a half-hour show. Yeah, you take out all of the Adam hate, and The Young and the Restless is only a half-hour long. Maybe Adam will be the one to save Nikki, and that's when her torrid affair with her stepson will start. Gary says, will Nikki become a drugged out zombie for the rest of her days on this show, or will she at least suffer an MS flare-up due to stress? Will Melody Thomas Scott finally claim an Emmy after 43 years on this soap? It's only Claire Grace who speaks the voice of the people, the audience, and Ellen in her denunciation of all things Newman. No Emmy? No Emmy? I think I read that in her book. Now that I think about it, that Melody Thomas Scott in all of her years on the show has not won an Emmy? Are you kidding me? Yes. She's won. I looked up on the Wikipedia. She has had a couple of other awards, but no Emmy. So maybe this is going into her Emmy reel, and maybe she will finally win in her 43rd year. Oh, that's just outrageous that she wouldn't have an Emmy. Victoria says, Nikki's backside must be very sore now. What, with Claire having to drag her up the stairs unconscious? Those are the wonderful little details. Again, detail comments that I absolutely love. Yeah, if Nikki was passed out from the tea downstairs, how did Claire drag her upstairs to the bedroom? Great. Hey, Diana says, I am really enjoying the storyline with Nikki and Claire. I really appreciated the house set. It seems like ages since we've had a set this large and one that doesn't look like any other set that we've already seen. The storyline reminds me of the stories that we would get back in the day on the show. There's lots of drama and intensity. Nikki's acting is very good, and it's very refreshing to see her being vulnerable and weak for a change. It seems like it's been many years since we've seen Nikki being held at someone's mercy. It's a nice change to see Nikki's character not looking glamorous. Y&R's done a great job of making Nikki look like she's gone through all this trauma and stress, and I look forward to seeing where the storyline takes us and the drama that's about to unfold. Yeah, Nikki really physically looks like she's been through it. She really looks wrecked. And Jamie says, when Nikki realized that Claire had put vodka in her IV and that she was drunk, I was actually devastated for her. Miss Nikki needs to pull a full-blown Jack Abbott hissy fit moment and throw a chair out the bedroom window. Yes, that's a good idea. Toss a chair right out the window. But she did say it was quite a drop, too. So who knows if she would even make it, even if she got the window open. But yeah, so you were feeling Nikki's desperation. Ellen, on the other hand, says, am I a bad person that I feel nothing for Nikki? I really don't care about her predicament. Maybe she needs to be dressed in pumpkin colors and stuck in a dreary no-tell motel. She has become such a nasty shrew in my eyes that I have a hard time mustering up any sympathy for her. I also know that she'll be fine in the long run. No one will shove her so that she cracks her head on a hearth and dies. No one will stage a fake car accident to cover up her death. Victor will be murmuring my baby over and over before long. Ew. But who is Claire? She is quite interesting. I hope she's not another short-lived Y&R villain like Ashland and Jeremy. I hope she has family ties and stays. Ooh, but Diana says I feel the opposite. I hope we don't have to see her creepy face for too long. She's great for this role, but I wouldn't want to see her go beyond this storyline. Oh, well, I think that's a great place for a poll question. So I think everybody's kind of like, oh, wow, Claire's really bringing the creep. Claire's really encompassing the creep factor here. But would you want to see her on the show long term? Go to yrchat.com this week. That will be our poll question. Do you want to see Claire stick around? Should she stay? Or are you going to be happy to see her go? Sharon W. says, Claire looks really scary to me. Maybe because I'm not a scary movie fan, but when she looks at the camera, her looks are so evil, and I'm really enjoying it. Naomi says, I thought Claire's head was going to rotate 360. Her eyes were terrifying as she sat there calmly sipping water and listening to Nikki yelling for help. Poor Nikki. But on a fun note, at least she's not been put in velour loungewear while being held. Yeah, where is the velour jumpsuit? That's what's missing from this storyline, the velour jumpsuit. I like the moment where Claire was looking in the mirror, too. Straightening her hair, making sure it was all perfect. She presented herself as quite perfect. But in truth, she's a doll, a baby doll, a porcelain doll with blood running out of her eyes. Well, Sherrod, with what I think is the best theory on Claire, says, I'm beginning to wonder if Claire is the daughter that Victoria supposedly lost all those years ago. She survived and was raised by another family, but was told the truth of who her biological family is. It would be turnabout is fair play, because Victoria is always harping on about Adam stabbing Victor in the back and causing trouble for their family, and how Victor should just be done with him. But Victor keeps giving Adam chances because that's his child. I would love to see how Victoria reacted if Claire did turn out to be her child after kidnapping and drugging Nikki? Would she be like, get out of our lives, or try to be there for her child? Ooh, Kamna says, well, who's the father? I would think I wasn't watching when that storyline happened. And Sherrod says, ding, 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 Cole Howard was the baby's father. But they were separated from each other because he cheated on Victoria. And then she was with Neil Winters at the time, planning to raise the child with him. But after the child's death, they broke up too. I have to tell you. So I went to CBS Soaps and Death a couple days ago. And I saw a casting notice that Cole Howard is going to be coming back onto the show. Cole Howard, played by J. Eddie Peck in the 90s, he was married to Victoria. Frankly, he was in a relationship with Nikki too. There was a mother-daughter triangle with Cole Howard back in the day. So Cole is connected to both Victoria and Nikki. Cole and Victoria, as Sherrod said, did lose a child named Eve. And I mean, when I saw the casting note that Cole was going to be coming back, I thought to myself, well, what for? No one's clamoring for Cole. Absolutely no one's clamoring for Cole. He was married to Nina too, so that could be a connection there. But he was such a mild kind of character. He wasn't real thrilling. He was definitely there, and he's nice and he's a nice guy. But Cole wasn't like I can't imagine anybody feeling super passionate. I don't know, maybe somebody does about Cole. But now that you are saying that it's possible that Claire is Victoria and Cole's long-lost child, well, that would certainly make sense to me. That would be a reason to bring Cole back. I can't wait to find this out, maybe next week. Well, Daisy says, I wonder if Claire will turn out to be Casey's granddaughter. Years ago, Nick Reed, Nikki and Casey's father, had raped Casey. Casey had not remembered this, I believe, until sometime after her mother had passed. But Casey went to confront her assailant father about what she remembered and was witness to him trying to assault her sister Nikki. So during that time, Nikki defended herself and inadvertently killed him. In any event, years prior to that, after Casey had been assaulted, she may have become pregnant, and her father decided to give the child away, which Casey also blocked out after that time. After giving birth, I'm going to say to this girl that having her child taken from her, Casey becomes aware and even more severely traumatized, which adds to her memory loss. The assailant father gives Casey's baby to his sister, not a healthy sister or a healthy environment. Casey's daughter has a difficult life and dies long after she had her own child, and Casey's aunt, assailant father's sister, raises that child, a girl named Claire. Claire has come to Genoa City to pay Nikki back for killing her grandfather. The assailant's aunt, Casey's aunt, Claire's great-aunt, told Claire, or great-great-aunt, told Claire that Nikki murdered her brother, Nick Reed, and that's the reason her mother had died young. And believing her aunt, Claire believes she must avenge her mother, who was, unbeknownst to Nikki, Casey's daughter, her niece. Wow. Okay. Yeah, because, is there a connection to Casey? Yes, that would make sense and would give some context to Claire having a direct connection to Nikki. Because if Claire is connected to Victoria, then why wouldn't she be coming after Victoria? It almost seems like the beef, whatever it is with Nikki. But who knows? Speculating about who Claire is and who Aunt Jordan is half the fun, I think. Well, different topic. Naomi says, Chloe and Sally come into society with big boots and big strides. And Chloe exclaims to the waiter, "Oh, this is perfect," as the waiter is sitting them in the exact same table they always sit at. Kind of a hey Norm, cheers moment. Oh, this table that everyone sits in right in the middle of the camera. This is perfect. Sharon W. says, Sally, you didn't listen to our Y&R chatters. Bad move, Sally. Bringing Chloe on to work with you again? What were you thinking? You didn't think. Not for yourself. Chloe's opinionated, controlling, a bossy, virtual know-it-all. I'm going to go out on a limb and help the writers with my own dialogue idea. Sally, next time that Chloe grills you about your feelings for Adam, remind her that she already has her own family, complete with Kevin and kids. Tell Chloe that she indeed deserves the same. No unwarranted advice needed. Yeah, I know. It's just going to be more of the same. But hey, how about that green couch that they picked out for Daniel? Was that something or what? And that lamp. Wow, that lamp. What a lamp. I'm like, the couch is great, but the lamp is a big whatever. Why are we noticing the lamp? But I also love that Daniel's apartment is becoming decorated in stages over time. I think that's very nice. Very fashionable so far. And in other fashion news, Diana says, I wanted to mention how nice it is to see the characters wearing jewelry again. Not too long ago, we did not see the characters wearing any jewelry or any nail polish for some reason that I never understood. I loved Christine's necklace last week. It was a very bold piece. I also wanted to add that I loved Abby's light pink dress that she wore at the restaurant when Chance, Nina, and Sharon went for breakfast. It was very pretty with her dangling earrings. Yes, I didn't connect that they weren't wearing jewelry or nail polish. That is very weird, and I wonder if it had anything to do with COVID, or I don't know, was it a sanitizing issue or something? I'm not sure. But yes, I certainly remember Christine's giant necklace last week. I thought Jill had some really cool giant earrings on this week. I always also do notice the jewels on the show. Sharon always has on beautiful, beautiful jewelry. And Abby, I mean, she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She has the best fashion on the show. We need to be seeing more of it. Well, flashback. Next week is Thanksgiving. And so Thursday we're going to be getting a flashback episode. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are going to be regular shows. I hope we're going to get to find out who Aunt Jordan is and more on that stuff. Thursday's episode is a flashback from February 4th of 1993. Now, I don't know what that's going to be exactly. I should have looked into that. I wonder if it could be possibly a Laura Lee Bell-centric episode flashback, since it was just recently her anniversary with the show. Or, I don't know, February 4th, 93. I don't know what that would be, but I'm sure it's going to be good. And then Friday, no show, no rerun, no classic episode, nothing at all due to sports. Some form of sports will be taking place. I don't know, football probably. Is that what happens on the Friday after Thanksgiving? Football? How undramatic. I'm sure there'll be no jewelry. No nail polish. Forget it. Boring. I'll watch something else. So just remember, Monday through Wednesday, actual episodes. Thursday, flashback episodes. Friday, nothing. But one of those new episodes might very well be a Baldwin family Thanksgiving reunion. I just about died when I saw that preview. I was so absolutely happy to see that my Michael is returning to the show. I can't wait to see him. They really didn't even show a close-up of him. I'm looking forward to seeing Michael. I want to see what he looks like. And the fact that Gloria is sitting over in the corner, leaning on the sofa with big glasses on, looking like she has got a hangover. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to see that. I cannot wait to hear what wild story we come up about what trouble Gloria got herself into that Michael got her out of. That is going to be the most amazing part of my week. I'm probably going to rewind it and watch it 3 different times. And it might almost make up for me having to eat dry turkey. Okay. Okay. All right. I hope that your turkey is not as dry as mine. And that you all have a very wonderful, moist turkey Thanksgiving. Even if that can't be true for me, I hope your turkey is moist. Go to yrchat.com Leave your comments through the week. Let me know what you think about the chat. Look at all the good stuff there, and we will be back next Sunday to talk about our 3 episodes. I'll try to watch the classic episode, but I also have to say, sometimes Paramount Plus doesn't post it. So unless it goes on to Paramount Plus, I won't see it. So it's likely that we'll just be covering the Monday through Wednesday episodes, but I'll do what I can to see if I can find that classic episode, and I'll do what I can to be back next Sunday. Okay, I love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble.